Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Will here, and Sam. Excuse him, he's been a little bit blessed by Nurgle this week and isn't exactly feeling at his best. But we're here with part 2 of Wrath of Magnus. So we did the Thousand Suns part last week, but we ran out of time, couldn't review the Daemons of Tzeentch. But I know you guys have been asking for it, so here we are, we're going to do it. So, yeah, let's have a look. So this is all about new Tzeentch demon stuff, and I've had a quick look at it. It's actually the second take of me trying to do this, because Sam was medically dead for the first 10 minutes of the last one, I think.
No, I was just destroying some Tau.
What better use of your time than destroying some Tau? So basically what you've got is you can now have a detachment fully of Tzeentch demons, and if you do, you get new demonic gifts. You have a choice of where you used to get one loci for exalted, one for lesser, one for you now get a choice of 2. There's also a separate Tzeentch warpstorm table if you have an all Tzeentch army, or if your primary detachment is all Tzeentch, and new demonic gifts as well. Oh yeah, some demonic gifts. So yeah, they're effectively, you can have a Tzeentch army. Now,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. That certainly fits in nice with the Thousand Suns, and it gives you some nice bonuses. There's also a new detachment and new data sheet for pink horrors. Now, those of you who've been in this hobby as long as I have may remember back in the day when you killed a pink horror, it used to split into 2 blue horrors. Blue horrors are back, and it's just like it was before. You can split a pink horror to make blue horrors, but you can now split blue horrors to make brimstone horrors, like you can in Age of Sigmar. I'm going to move this camera a little bit closer. I feel like you guys are a long way away from me tonight. There we go, that's better. It's because we're sitting on a really low chair tonight.
It's a comfy chair.
I
need comfy because I don't feel great.
Aww. Everyone sort of leave a like for sympathy for Sam.
That has the man flus.
Oh. Sorry, a camera just fell right over there and you...
That's the roof.
That's what the roof of 40k Gaming looks like from the inside. Anyway, now the camera seems to be working. We'll crack right on with the new units. So, blue horrors. Sam,
you're starting with blue, or we're starting with pink?
Starting with pink. Start in the pink.
Alright, so...
What's changed?
90 points from 10, that's still the same. Mm-hmm. Web skill, bliss skill 3, strength toughness 3, wounds 1, initiative 3, attacks 1, initiative 7. Standard?
Yeah.
Brotherhood of Psychers, Demons of Tzeentch, Demonic Instability, Deep Strike and Split. So they gain a split rule.
Excuse
me.
Other than that, pretty much as they were?
Yep, between 11 and 15 is 2 warp charges, 16 to 20 is 3.
So that's what they always were, but it's the split that's the big thing.
Got a few new icons, but otherwise their upgrades are all the same.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
So that's cool, and then the split is to make the blue horrors. So I've had a bit of a read of this rule. So rather than giving it word for word, basically what happens is if a pink horror dies, you get 2 blue horrors. If there's a unit of blue horrors within 6 inches, it just joins that unit. If there isn't a unit of blue horrors within 6 inches, you create a new unit of blue horrors within 6 inches of the pink horror unit that took the casualties.
Is that a unit of 2?
Yes, so you get 2 blue horrors for every 1 pink horror that dies.
So if you lose 1 pink horror, you get a unit of 2 horrors?
Yeah, 2 blue horrors. So that's quite nice, you just get 3 models. Now, the 3 models that you get aren't that great.
So, blue horrors, these are both troop choices. There's no HQ in this section.
No, the HQs, you just use the HQs from the Demons of Tzeentch.
Fair enough.
Just Tzeentch characters, yeah.
Blue horrors are 50 points for 10.
So you can buy them if you don't want to just rely on splitting your pinks.
Web skill, ballistic 3, strength toughness 2. Wounds 1, initiative 3, attacks 1, initiative 7.
So essentially, pink horrors with 1 less strength and toughness, and only 5 points a model for up to 20 of them.
Another Brotherhood of Psychers.
So they maintain the ability to cast.
Brotherhood of Psychers, Daemons of Tzeentch, Demonic Instability, Deep Strike, Split again it's called.
Yep.
And they're level 1 unless you got 11 to 20, at which point they're level 2.
They're not level 2, they just generate 2 milk charge.
Yeah.
They don't actually gain a cycle level.
You read for a bit, I'm going to go find myself a tissue.
Okay, he's just got to go and deal with that. So, yeah, you get your free blue horrors when you get your pink horrors. When pink horrors die, or you can buy blue horrors as they are. Now, next up we have the Brimstone horrors. So you know how the blue horrors have the split again rule? When they split again, they make Brimstone horrors, which are these little fire demon dudes here. These guys have the same stat line. Well, no, they don't at all. Actually, they have weapon skill, ballistic skill 1. No, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3. Strength and toughness 1. 2 wounds, initiative 3, 2 attacks, and 1 leadership. So the key here is each base of these is basically 2 guys. So when you split a blue horror, you don't then get 2 bases of Brimstone horrors. You get 1 base of Brimstone horrors that represents 2 guys, which is why they have 2 wounds. The big drawback here is that as a 2 wound model with toughness 1, they are insta-deathed by anything. Literally, unless they get hit by a strength 1 or a weapon that ignores, a weapon that doesn't have a normal roll to hit, any attack from strength 2 or higher is going to insta-jib these guys. They're going to die quickly, but you can't really complain because they're free models. Again, you've got you pay for your pink horrors, they die, you get blue horrors, the blue horrors die, you get Brimstone horrors. Other than that, they have all the rules that the pink horrors do: Brotherhood of Sorcerers, Demons of Tzeentch, Demonic Instability, Deep Strike, but they actually gain the Warp Flame special rule with their melee attacks. So that's a bit random. Warp Flame can do you some good, can give your opponent feel no pain, which is obviously a little bit of pain in the butt, but the key thing is you've just got your troops will not die, they keep coming back. And if you want to be really cheap, you can buy Brimstone Horrors as a unit on their own. 30 points for 10 bases, 3 points per model to add up to 20. So the way this works out is that actually your Demons of Tzeentch now, when you take your pink horrors as your core, they effectively have like 7 wounds, because you have to do a wound to kill the pink horrors, then you have to do 2 wounds to kill the 2 pink horrors that came from that.
Blue horrors,
sorry, sounds back. And then you have to do at least a further 2 wounds, assuming you manage to instant get death, which you're going to because they're toughness 1, to kill the 2 Brimstone horrors. So you're getting 5 wounds per pink horror in effect.
And lots of different units.
And yeah, this will split down. If the pink horrors suffer casualties at different points, those new blue horror units are going to start at different places. You're going to have real MSU.
When they split, the new unit Deep Strike Horrors is just placed.
It's just placed. So, here we go. Let me just check the wording on it. Otherwise, set them up as a new unit within 6 inches of the unit that's split. Yeah. So that's pretty decent. These guys have Warp Flame as well. But they're toughness 1, so they get instant death. So although they're a 2 wound model because they're a base, they get instant death by lasguns.
Are they a Psyker? Yeah,
they are still a Psyker. So you could potentially get lots and lots of Psykers appearing as well.
Yeah. Your psychic level is going to ebb and flow, because say over 3 units each take pot shots at 1 pink horror, you're going to then generate 2 more, maybe 3 more units, which generates you more psychic dice.
Although a unit will only generate more blue horrors once over the shooting phase because it happens right at the end of the phase. So it's not like I can shoot with this tactical squad at this pink horror squad and split off some blue horrors there, and then shoot with this another tactical squad and you can be like, I'll start your unit there.
I guess that saves it, because I was thinking, well, you even want to shoot everything at them.
I mean, what you want to do is either wipe them out completely,
and it stops people like overwhelming with firepower going, shoot a horror, kill it, kill the blue horrors that come up, kill the incandescent horrors.
Yeah.
The flamey ones.
Incandescent, yeah.
I'll let you say that.
Oh no, they're Brimstone. I keep calling them incandescent because that's actually the sergeant option for the pink horrors, but they're Brimstone horrors, little fire demons.
I can say Brimstone just about.
No, they're pretty funky as well. Actually, when these came out in the Silver Tower, I didn't get the Silver Tower set, but these guys look pretty cool, and I was being tempted towards Tzeentch.
You still are.
I am being tempted towards Tzeentch, but I have too many ongoing projects.
But to be honest, I math hammered some of the Thousand Sun stuff, and the core formations are well over 1850.
Okay, maybe not then. Now we've got some formations. So there is a new detachment type in here called the Pandemoniad of Tzeentch. And some of these formations that are in here, you actually have to get the original Warzone Fenris for the Curse of the Wolfen. So the Tzeentch options from there and there. But we've got some new ones as well. So this is one of the core, the Law Stealer Host.
Fair enough. I'll let you read because I'll just give my opinion today.
So we've got the Blue Scribe, so the special character from the Chaos Demons book. And then between 3 to 9 units of blue horrors. So potentially a very cheap formation. Any idea what the Blue Scribe costs?
Not off the top of my head. He's a fun little model, but I've never used him because I never really played Tzeentch.
Okay. But the blue horrors themselves, obviously 50 points for a min unit. So that's you could run this at 150 plus the cost of the Blue Scribe. So it could be a very cheap core formation. Then our special rules are Seekers of Arcane Lore. Units from this formation reroll to hit and wound of 1 when attacking Psychers, and also that applies to Brotherhoods of Psychers, units that contain a Psyker, and vehicles with the Psychic Pilot special rules. So they don't like Psychers, but you know.
It does fit with the Blue Scribe's fluff, because he's going around finding all the psychic powers and psychic knowledge in the galaxy.
Makes sense. And reroll ones, it doesn't specify a particular phase, so this would include psychic attacks as well, which I think is when these guys are going to do the most damage, because they're strength 2 with no ranged attack, so they're all about the psych.
Reroll ones to hit and to wound.
Yeah. Doesn't specify a phase, so if you have a psychic power that needs to roll to hit or to wound, it counts, yeah. Empowered by knowledge, if any unit from this formation is within 9 inches of an enemy psyker, or again unit with a psyker in Psychic Pilot, Brotherhood of Psychers, etc., they add 1 to the strength of all hits caused by any witchfire powers they manifest. And this is cumulative with the Exalted Locus of Conjuration, which I think is later on in this book.
The Conjuration Locus gives +1 strength to your psychic attacks. It's in the Demons Codex.
Yeah, alright, cool. And this stacks with that, so if one of these is joined by a Herald, or is...
you think Warp Flame, strength 5 AP4 is standard in the Demons book. I don't know what it is in this.
We shall see. There, I think, is a rewrite of the psychic
adding 2 strength to that, that's strength 7 AP4. So it's a bit randomised on the amount of shots you get, but that can be really powerful.
I mean, strength 7, you're at the point where you're insta-deathing toughness 3 mods. You wouldn't even need to go to 7, you go to strength 6, and you're wounding toughness 4 and a 2+, and insta-deathing toughness 3. So that's...
For vehicles.
Yeah, I suppose a bit more for vehicles. And yeah, that makes sense as they re-roll against Psychic Pilots as well, so Grey Knights aren't going to like these guys, but then Grey Knights will kill these guys as soon as look at them. So,
yeah.
You know. But that's a nice little core unit there if you want to play the Blue Stripes and you want all your horrors. Now, the competitor core unit to this is the one from Warzone Fenris, Curse of the Wolfen.
It's the one with 9 units of stuff.
So it's a lot more expensive to run. The benefit, if I remember rightly, is if you have a locus on your herald.
Yeah, you have to have a locus on your herald and it buffs everyone within 12 inches. So that would be good with the conjuration stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, that would. Obviously, you wouldn't take the two of you. You'd take one or the other. Well, I suppose you could take.
It's so small.
Yeah, and this would be great for low points value games, or even if you were allying like a Tzeentch detachment into an existing Chaos army.
Let's have a look at the auxiliaries, see what we get from them.
Yeah, so some of the auxiliaries are already covered, so I'm skipping through to this now. I'm going to cover this and come back and look at the formations. So you need the normal 1 core, 0 to 3 command, and 1 auxiliary. And your benefits, models in this detachment add 1 to their invuln save.
Nice.
Very nice.
To a maximum of 3 up?
Maximum of 3 up, so if they've got another way to buff, because they normally have a 5, don't they?
Yeah.
So they can go up to a 3 up if they have another way of buffing.
Cursed Earth, 12-inch bubble plus 1 invuln.
And then Masters of Fate is you can re-roll results on the Tzeentch Warlord table. Woo, Warlord traits. And you can re-roll results when rolling on the Tzeentch Warpstorm table.
That's good.
Have to see what the Tzeentch Warpstorm table holds, but re-rolling Warpstorm is...
It's always nice.
What you do lose out in this one versus the other demon detachment is the corruption on objectives, which is very strong for points. But then this guy's makes you guys tougher, and you guys are already tougher because you have to kill them 3 times.
Yeah.
So you could have Tzeentch armies that just will not go away like this. So your cores I've already covered. Your commands, Lord of the Pandemonium, you either get a Herald, a Demon Prince, Lord of Change, or Fate Weaver, standard. And then the Omniscient Oracles is Kairos Fate Weaver and 1 to 3 Lords of Change. So it's an expensive.
Yeah, but you're going to have the points if you take the blue horrors as your core.
True that.
Proper flying circus list. There.
Yeah, Fate Weaver and 3 Lords of Change, don't mind if I do. And then your auxiliaries. Agents of Tzeentch, you can have either the Changeling or the Blue Scribes. Obviously, if you're running the Law Stealer, you can't have the Blue Scribes there.
This is a character.
And you can also only ever roll 1 Law Stealer because he's a character. And if you wanted to make it bigger, you just bulk out your Blue Horrors.
That's nice, you can just take a Changeling as an auxiliary.
Which, yeah, that's a really cheap way to do it. And then the Forge Host, which is another one from Curse of the Wolfen, 3 Soulgrinders.
Nice.
Certainly decent unit. The Burning Sky Host, again, have a look. I'll put a link down to my Warzone Fenris Curse of the Wolfen Demons part that I did with Sam to check these guys out. But this is 9, either the Blue Scribes or a Herald of Tzeentch, and 9 units of either Screamers or Burning Chariots, so very expensive, bulky auxiliary.
That's a really good formation.
And then the 2 new auxiliaries that we get rules for in here. The Brimstone Conflagration, which is 1 Exalted Flamer and 3 to 9 units of Brimstone Horrors.
Interesting to see what we get for that.
How many boxes of... because at the moment they're only sold in the Silver Tower. How many boxes of Silver Tower are you going to need to run this army?
A lot. What's the other one?
The other one is the Heralds Anarchic, 3 to 9 Heralds of Tzeentch.
That's pretty good.
That's decent.
Let's see what these formations actually do.
Yeah. While I find these though, I really hope they release the Blue Horrors and the Brimstone Horrors as separate box sets on their own. They've got to, really.
They will.
They do that now. So, the Brimstone Conflagration. This is one of our auxiliaries, and you need the Exalted Flamer that you get with the Chariot kit, and then 3 to 9 units of Brimstone Horrors. Again, potentially very cheap. I think the Exalted Flamer is like 50 points.
65, I think.
65. And the Brimstone Horrors are 30 points for 10, so you could run this at 90 points of them plus the flame are potentially very cheap. But hey, no restrictions, and here come the special rules. Malicious self-immolation. Sounds fun. At the start of any fight subphase, you can choose any unit of Brimstone Horrors from this formation to consume themselves in flame. At the start of the subphase, declare how many Brimstone Horrors you wish to sacrifice. For each model you have chosen to sacrifice, inflict D3 Strength 4 AP 4 hits with the Warp Flame special rule on each enemy unit locked in combat with the Brimstone Horrors. Then remove the sacrifice models. You can sacrifice the whole unit.
That could be interesting.
You go from a unit that is... I think you'd want to do that more often than you wouldn't. Because you go from having a guy with 2 attacks at strength 1, weapon skill 3, to a guy who dies, but he's going to die anyway because he's in combat and he is toughness 1. A guy who can do D3 strength 4 AP 4 Warp Flame hits.
Depends on what you get charged by. If it's like 5 Marines, you'll probably survive. And
you could target them, I suppose, if there's enough of you, yeah. But I think against anything that's likely to wipe you out, just sacrifice yourself.
yeah.
The other special rule is Sea of Living Flame. If an enemy unit makes a successful charge against units from this formation that are with 9 inches of the Exalted Flamer, then all models in the charging unit must immediately take a dangerous terrain test.
That's pretty awesome.
Charge me and I will burn you. And then if you survive, I'll explode and burn you again. That's a fun little formation.
Quirky. Good auxiliary.
Wouldn't necessarily want to spend points on Brimstone Horrors though, because you just get them free, but then these are slightly better Brimstone Horrors because they explode. It can be very difficult keeping track of where all your different blue and Brimstone Horrors have come from. You have several formations.
Yeah, it strikes me as an army that will take some time to play.
Now, what's weird is that they then jump to a command formation, so I'm going to skip it, come back to it, and do the other auxiliary. This is the Heralds Anarchic, 3 to 9 Heralds, and judging from the picture, that can include Heralds on chariots.
Yeah.
Only one special rule here, Warp Conduit. Add 1 dice to your warp charge pool in each psychic phase for each model from the Heralds and Archics on the battlefield. So
that's awesome. So at minimum, you're getting another 3 dice.
As long as they're all alive, yeah, that's handy. More dice, which you're going to need to cast all the psychic powers you're getting.
Could be interesting.
Indeed, it could. So 2 good and not overly expensive auxiliary choices there.
I don't know, the Heralds and Archics one could get really expensive.
How much is a standard Herald?
I think they start at 45, but then they're only level 1. 50 points to take them to level 3.
Yeah.
And chariots and
gifts and
locis.
Okay.
You can get Herald up to 150 points easily.
Okay. So this one could run away with your points. Then, the new command formation. I think you've sneezed on the book. Don't tell Andy about that.
Find a dry part of tissue.
So this is
How did I sneeze on?
Well, maybe you didn't. Maybe you dripped water on it or something. I don't know. But there's a stain on the book. The book has been blessed by Nurgle. So the Omniscient Oracles.
That's a Tzeentch book.
I know. That's the irony.
Irony.
They don't like each other. So you get Kairos Fate Weaver and 1 to 3 Lords of Change. So this is an expensive formation. And you only get 1 special rule, but is it any good? Knowledge of the past, present and future. Kairos Fate Weaver and the Lord of Change and the Lords of Change in this formation can reroll 1s when making psychic tests. Psychic tests to hit or to wound rolls. In addition, while all models from this formation are on the battlefield, you can choose to reroll failed attempts to seize the initiative or any reserve rolls. So as long as they all start on the battlefield, you reroll to seize. If they're all still alive, you reroll the reserves, and they always reroll 1s to hit, wound, and cast.
That's pretty good.
If you want to run a lot of Lords of Change, oh, you get away with Kairos and 1.
Yeah. Is it 1 to 3?
Yeah, 1 to 3.
Yes, you could just run 2. The thing is, there's a lot of ways to get cheaper psychic in.
Yeah.
That gives you a bit more mobile psychic.
And the flying resilient psychic, because flying monstrous creatures are still really hard to take down if they stay flying.
Yeah.
Which these guys are going to want to. And a reroll to seize. Seize can be big.
Yeah, seize is big. I hate the seize the initiative roll.
Yeah, you got completely screwed over by that in the tournament.
I did, but in the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's your new formations. Of those, what do you think you'd, as a Chaos player, construct your army around?
Corn Demon King. No. Yeah, I wouldn't run this because I don't massively like Tzeentch, but I can see the maybe Kronos Fate Weaver on one Lord.
The Law Stealer host, as you call it, or the Warp Flame?
Honestly, don't know. What's in the Warp Flame host?
9 units of Pink Horrors, Flamers, or Exalted Flamers.
I'd run the Flame Warp host. Or Warp Flame host.
Okay.
Just because it's got better units in it. And more variety.
Yeah. And then your auxiliaries, any from those you'd like?
The one with all the heralds would be pretty interesting. So that's what I'd aim for. Kronos and Lord Change.
Yeah.
The big unit, core unit, and a small auxiliary of some extra horrors, heralds.
Okay, and then stick the heralds in the units from the Warp Flame host that aren't going to be within 12 of the herald from the Warp Flame host, so they can still get the loci.
Pretty much.
That's cool. And how would you rate this? The +1 to your invuns versus Cursed Earth, or whatever it is, where you, what's it, demonic, the benefit where you can, I've completely forgotten what it's called. It's the one from the other formation where you can hold objectives even after you won.
Oh, the corrupted objectives?
Yeah.
No, I'd go with the corrupted objectives personally.
Okay, so you
because it gives you better ground. And this, you half want units dying at the same time because they split.
Yeah, true. Okie dokie then. Now, by the sounds of it, you're not sounding too good.
No, I feel fucking rough, to be honest.
So we will quickly look.
I'll let you do the psychic. I'm probably gonna get some rest.
Okay, well, good to see you, mate. Thank you for your time and your opinions.
I'll catch you guys in a bit.
Actually, do you want to give me that data file?
I'll let you finish up. I'm gonna wander off for a bit.
Okay, cool, no problem. I'll catch you in a bit, mate. Right. Sorry about that. He's table shaking. There we go. That's
Sorry,
better.
it's just my fat ass getting out of the chair.
Okay, so yeah. So what have we got here then? We've got some new stuff. Right. So the demonic loci. So these are the options you can have to upgrade your heralds. So before you got, I think, yeah. So you got the 3 that you used to have in the Demons of Chaos Codex, and then you get a new option for each level. So the lesser one, we've got the Loci of Transmogrification, which has actually changed a bit because of the way Pink Horrors work. And the new one is the Loci of Metamorphosis. So the start with Transmogrification, that's only 10 points. Each time a Pink Horror in this model's unit is slain in combat, the unit that inflicted the unsaved wound immediately suffers Strength 3 AP-hit. Each time a blue horror from this model's unit is slain, it inflicts a Strength 2 AP-hit, and a Brimstone horror immediately inflicts a Strength 1 AP-hit. Okay, so suffers an unsaved wound. So basically every time you do a wound to a horror of some sort, you take a wound equal to that model's strength. That's decent at 10 points, not too bad. But that is only in close combat, and you don't really want your horrors in combat, particularly now with such good psychic abilities. You don't want your horrors in combat. Then you got your lesser locus of metamorphosis. This is slightly more expensive. This model and all models in its unit gain it will not die. I just don't think that's quite worth it. I think if you're going to take a lesser loci, the other one is possibly slightly better. I don't rate it will not die on light characters like heralds. They're not generally, once you start targeting one successfully, it dies. It doesn't take a wound and have a chance to regenerate it. So no, not a fan. Then we have the greater loci. These are both 20 points. First one is the greater loci of change. At the beginning of the turn, roll a d6. This model and all models in the unit substitute their strength for this result. No. Just no. These guys aren't meant to be in combat, and it's as likely to hurt you or not do anything as it is to help you, so no. Greater loci of trickery. At the beginning of each turn, roll a d6. Any to hit rolls that target the model or any model in its unit that have the same score count as having rolled a 1. Okay. So at the start of my turn, I roll a dice. Say I get a 3. So any 3s to wound the demons, to wound this unit, count as having rolled a 1. So basically change your dice rolls to a random number. Although you change a random number to be 1s. Not much use if you roll 1 because you already get 1. Kind of might help them be more survivable. It's one of the few that doesn't really require you to be in combat, so yeah, I like that. Then we have the Exalted Locus of Conjuration. So these are the 2 Exalted Loci. Conjuration is the cheaper one, and the one that I think already exists. It's nice and simple, and one I would definitely take. +1 strength to all psychic powers manifested. Simple. And it applies to the unit as well, so you've got this Herald, he's in his unit, and he casts his spells, they cast the spells, +1 strength, really good, solid, 25 points well spent. Exalted Loci of Creation. So this is the new one, and a little bit more expensive at 35 points. Each time a pink horror in this model's unit is slain, it splits into 4 blue horrors instead of 2. And each time a blue horror splits into 2 Brimstone horror bases instead of 1. That's pretty good, actually. That almost means that any pink horrors from this guy's unit that die, you actually get more points back in blue horrors, because 4 pink horrors, you get it anyway, but you get twice the points back. That's actually really good. Hey, dude, how's this one? Exalted Loci of Creation, 35 points. Any time a pink horror in this model's unit is slain,
Yep.
it splits into 4 blue horrors.
How many points?
35.
Expensive.
And does sort of run up against Exalted Loci of Conjuration, which is +1 strength to all these psychic.
Can you only have 1 Exalted Loci?
Let me see, what does it say here? If there are 2 Loci of the same tier, you choose which applies. Okay, here we go. Heralds of Tzeentch, blah blah blah. The 3 tiers of Loci raising lesser, greater, exalted. If the unit contains 2 or more Loci, only the strongest takes effect. The rules of the other are ignored, while the stronger. Okay. If there are 2 Loci. Any Herald of Tzeentch may take one of the following loci.
Yeah, so, yeah. That could be cool.
I think Conjuration, that's a tough one. It's basically whether you want this unit to be dishing out more damage or being tougher.
Yeah, basically. But then there are ways to buff strength, so take a mix.
And I suppose as well, for the meantime, until people can get a cheap way of getting lots of blue horrors, I think you'd stick with Conjuration just because you can't get enough blue horrors. If you ain't got the models, you can't use them. So, of the new loci, Trickery's decent, Metamorphosis is a bit meh, Creation is certainly usable. Then you've got 3 new Icons of Chaos, or I don't know if they're all new, but they're all listed here, and I think at least one of them is, so I'll quickly run through them. These are the banner options that the Pink Horrors can take. So the first one is the Arcane Icon. It says, they all count as an Icon of Chaos, but in addition, all models in the unit with the Arcane Icon have Adamantium Will. That's what, 10 points was it? Let me just take a look. It's 10 points, so it's the cheapest of the 3, but I don't think that's really that worth it. You're not going to have many powers cast at you. I don't usually like to pay for Adamantine Will. You might find some use because you're already a Psyker, so you're getting 4+ to Dispel, but you're going to have so many Dispel dice, that unless you're going up against another really Psych-heavy army, you'll probably just block them anyway. Don't know, might be useful, but to be honest though, if they're casting a spell on you, just let it take effect, you guys die, you get blue horrors. Next one is the Blasted Standard. Again, it's an Icon of Chaos. Once per game, you can use this standard. It's done immediately before the unit makes a shooting attack or attempts to manifest a Witchfire. If it does so, any units hit by the attack suffer 2d6 strength for additional 2d6 strength for AP dash additional hits. So as a once per game, you cast a Witchfire because you've not got shooting attack, and you suffer an additional. The target suffers additional 2d6 strength for hits. Might be useful. The problem is if the Witchfire doesn't go off, it seems like it's wasted, so you're better off spending your 15 points on something else, I think. And finally, the Icon of Fire. Again, it's another Icon of Chaos, and all close combat attacks made by Daemons of Tzeentch in a unit equipped with this have Soul Blaze. You don't want your demons in combat. Daemons of Tzeentch do not belong in combat, so no. I don't think any of these are that great. If I had to pick one, probably the Blasted Standard, maybe the Arcane Icon. Probably wouldn't go with the Icon of Fire though. So, we're getting there now. The last thing to take a look at, and we do have the missions, but I'm not going to go through those. Because I don't think most people play them, but we've finally got the new Warpstorm table. So, like the previous Warpstorm table, it's a 2d6 at the start of the shooting phase, if and when you remember it. So, start off with, on the double one, Boundless Mutations. Randomly select a character, friend or foe, excluding any model with a demon special rule. So realistically it's going to be foe, because you're demons, you're all demons. The model suffers D3 wounds, with no save of any kind allowed. If this causes the model to lose its last wound, place a new Chaos Spawn model under your control, under the control of the current player, anywhere within... Hang on. If this causes the model to lose its last wound, place a new Chaos Spawn model under the control of the current player anywhere within 6 inches of the character, then remove the character as a casualty. Does that mean current players in the current player who owns it, or the current player whose turn it is? But that would say yours, surely. So it sounds like it stays under the control of the same person.
So you give your opponent Chaos Spawn.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose if you turn a Chapter Master into a Chaos Spawn, that's not bad, but it's a bit random. But it's Tzeentch, you expect it to be random. Number 3, we've got Warp Flux. Any unit attempting to manifest psychic power suffers a peril result if there are 2 or more of the same number, so any double or more than a double, you suffer a perils. This effect lasts until your opponent next rolls on the Tzeentch Warpstorm, until you or your opponent next roll on the Tzeentch Warpstorm table. Okay, so that sucks. Might nerf your opponent a little bit, but will nerf you a lot if you're playing Tzeentch. Number 4, Mirror Steps. Randomly select a unit, friend or foe, that has the Daemons of Tzeentch special rule, and remove it from play. The unit's controlling player then immediately returns it to play via Deep Strike. Okay, so you, most of the time, just pick up one of your units and Deep Strike them, but you can, if your opponent has Demons of Tzeentch, pick one of them up. Maybe it's in a really good position, maybe it's locked in a combat that it wants to be in, I don't know. And they have to Deep Strike back down, so it introduces a little bit of randomness. Maybe. Gates of Change. This is number 5. All Psyker units on the board harness the warp on a 3+. Oh, excuse me, sorry. All Psykers harness on a 3+, unless they would otherwise harness on a 2. The effect lasts until your next roll on the Warpstorm table. Mutagenic Fire is number 6. All Flamer weapons gain Warp Flame. That's yours and your opponent's, so it might not be great if you're fighting against salamanders. Mutagenic Fire, we've just covered. 7. Vision from Beyond the Veil. Now this is a key one, because statistically this is what you're going to roll more often than not. Each player gains D3 rerolls. Rolls. Oh, excuse me, sorry, rolled separately for each player. Each reroll allows the player to reroll a single dice once during their turn. At the end of the turn, unused rerolls are lost. So that's very, again, random. It gives rerolls to you and your opponent. A smart opponent could really use that to screw you over. Warp Surge is number 8. Warp charge cost of all psychic powers are reduced by 1, to a minimum of 1. However, if a psychic fails a psychic test while attempting to manifest a psychic power, they suffer a perils. Again, like some of the other effects, it lasts until the next time you roll on the Tzeentch Warpstorm table. That affects both friend and enemy psykers. I don't like that. That's really gonna screw you over, because any fails auto peril. Storm of Fire. Roll a d6 for every non-vehicle unit on the battlefield. On a 1 or a 2, that suffers d6 strength for hits with Warp Flame. Brimstone Rain is number 10. Set up a unit of 10 Brimstone Horrors under the control of the current player. So that must mean the control of your turn. Oh, so that must mean it rolls. Current player means on the balance mutation, so it is, you get a spawn yourself, you don't give your opponent a spawn. So the Brimstone Rain, you basically get a unit of Brimstone Horrors and they Deep Strike. It's only 30 points of free models, but you know, it's extra models. Herald's Possessions, number 11. Randomly select a character on the battlefield. But, oh, I'm really sorry about this, I'm getting a bit knackered here. So pick any non-demon character on the battlefield, friend or foe, take a leadership test. If they pass, nothing happened. If they failed, they're possessed, and you gain a Herald of Tzeentch under your control within 6 inches of that character. So that's really random. You have to roll pretty high to get it. You need an 11, and then your opponent needs to fail a psychic test, fail a leadership test, but then you could get a free Herald. Finally, number 12, you get a double 6, Avatar of Change. Player whose turn it is selects a character on the table with the Daemons of Tzeentch special rule. They take a leadership test. If they fail, immediately removed as a casualty. If the test is passed, place a Lord of Change under the current player's control. If the chosen blah blah, so you get a free Lord of Change if you pass the psychic test. If the chosen character, if you pass a leadership test. If the chosen character is your warlord and passes its psychic test, your opponent does not earn Slay the Warlord until the newly summoned model is removed as a casualty. Furthermore, the Lord of Change will retain any warlord trait. So it's pretty unlikely. You need to roll a double 6, but if you get it, pick a unit, take a leadership test. You pass, or pick a character. So any one of your characters, take a leadership test. Oh, but it's non-demon. So pick one of your opponent's characters. They're dead either way. They take a leadership test. If they fail, they're dead. If they pass, they become a Lord of Change. Sam's just wandering in. Double check number 12. So a lot of these Tzeentch Warpstorm things don't look like they'll do. Don't look like they're doing much. They might help you a little bit. They might nerf you a little bit. But then this last one is just mental. You get it. You've basically insta-jibbed a character, and you've got a good chance of getting a free Lord of Change.
The character has to have the Daemons of Tzeentch special.
Oh. Has to, not... Oh, okay, so unlike the other ones where there mustn't be a Demon of Tzeentch, this one... Oh no, yeah, some of them are. I've been reading some of these wrong. Yeah, so it's only a Demon of Tzeentch that can do it, so ideally you pick a cheap Herald, he takes a leadership test. So actually it could... Yeah, I've read that completely wrong.
Pick your warlord if he's wounded.
Yes, and then you
then you just swap your warlord for your warlord upgrading or changing.
Yeah, your upgraded warlord can become a Lord of Change, so that's pretty awesome. Anyway, I think that is everything that I wanted to cover, so they look pretty fun. I mean, what I would do with these guys is probably run them as a fluffy, bulky allied detachment. So you've got the Thousand Suns, a really elite army. You need some bulk. Zangors are alright, but these might be more fun. I might take the Omniscient Oracles if I had the points. If not, I might just take a Demon Prince or a Herald, something cheap. Lore Stealer Host, 3 min units of Blue Horrors, Blue Scribes, and then just, you could have any of these. And the Brimstone Conflagration looks fun, just for getting loads of really cheap warp charge. Say you've got Magnus in your army, he wants a lot of warp charges. He wants to throw out spell after spell after spell after spell. But, they could just act as really cheap warp charge batteries. Now, we did have one final thing, the psychic powers. Where are the psychic powers? I think the psychic powers are actually... I think the psychic powers for change are just the ones from the Curse of the Wolfen book. I don't think they've rewritten them again, no. So the psychic powers of change are the ones from Curse of Wolfen, so I don't need to run through those. But yeah, you've got some cool missions in here as well. It's so on the whole, a well worth buying book for anyone who's a fan of Tzeentch. And I think that just about covers it. So, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Once again, sorry about the wait, and apologies for Sam not being able to have as big a part in this as he sometimes does. He's, just really not been feeling himself. So, anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.